Hey everyone, I'm Nido King, and I realized that since the revelation that Ellen is Cecilia, we haven't really talked to anyone in town except for the pubmaster. So let's find out what everyone has to say first before we go fight the Folklore. Wonder if Harriet knows even more than what she told Keats. Possibly. I was gonna go talk to O'Connell, but then I realized talking to him might actually be some kind of event. Turns out it's not. In fact, I have no idea where he is right now. Yeah, I guess we'll worry about the memories as we go. There's still a lot to remember, and a lot we don't know. Well, thank you very much for reminding everyone of something that I've been wondering about this whole time. We know now that Ellen is Cecilia, and she grew up in this village. But what does that have to do with all those deaths from 17 years ago? Or at least, why does Regine blame Ellen, aka Cecilia, for everything that happened? Meanwhile, I'm trying to get my folk set up for the upcoming fight against Fleshrum, but there's still that one weird symbol in the book that I don't understand. What is the image in the upper right? What does it represent, and what am I going to have to do? I have no clue, so I guess I'm just going to have to go with whatever preparations I've got. You know, get a water folk, get Spriggan, get something slash element, and leave the rest up to chance. So, with our path clear, it's time for the second fight against Fleshrum. It still looks creepy and disturbing, and I'm pretty sure that's the point. So we've got a nice effective attack that we can use against the eyes. And the Thrumpin are already here. That's why I've got Puka at the ready. Should be pretty easy to keep these guys off my back while I continue taking out the eyes. And now... okay, the heart is already here. And I picked the wrong cloak. Yeah, the fairy cloak, I believe, will protect you against that attack and render the heart more or less completely useless. I'm through with playing around with various slash elements, and I'll just go with my favorite one. And here come the hands. The only real problem with this fight is that for some reason, half the time Ellen seems to target the deadly heart in the center instead of the walleyes. I really want to be attacking the eyes right now. As long as you can see and hear the attacks coming, it's not too hard to block them. The thing you gotta watch for is actually dust falling from the ceiling. Not during this phase, but once the heart descends for the second time, there's the dust coming down, and the foot. So if you're playing along at home, that's your cue. You can get out of the way of the falling dust, or you can put up Spriggan. Either way. Yet again, I'm just happening to stray too close to the center of the room, and my attacks are targeting the wrong part of the room. There's the dust. I didn't even see it. Not until I was reviewing the video. Oh well. That heart looks kind of lopsided if you look at it from the right angle. But it's done. Fleshrum is just not a very difficult boss at all. And once it goes into beat mode, even though I get a kind of slow start, it's finished. And there you go. The rest is all story. I'm pretty sure he meant the entrance to the Netherworld core is blocked by Baral. And now time for the big question. What is the Fairy Lord side of this whole story? So I guess the story is that the twin trees used to create a mutual bond between the human world and the netherworld. The human world provided memories, and the netherworld provided the reassurance that people's souls would be okay after death. And the Fairy Lord wants to try to restore that. So there was one other item in that menu that I don't remember having before. This old photo. It's in my memento list, but I haven't used it to open any realms. And there are no Nema signs in the corridor. We just head straight to the Divine Sanctuary. But I think it's kind of interesting that each side has its own argument for why they're in the right about whether humans should be allowed to know about the Netherworld. Oh, there's the Nema signs. And that last one was what Livane was telling Keats about. But what'll she have to say for Ellen? And so finally we got to see what happened after Keats left the Netherworld. Not quite the epic confrontation I think we were all hoping for. But now I'm dumped back into the real world without any clear sense of where I need to go or what I need to do. Of course, as usual, I'll talk to everybody first. I kind of wonder whether that's going to be part of a clue later. Like a little preview of what we're going to be doing in Chapter 5. May sound like a leading question, but I honestly don't remember. Yeah, that's true. We were looking for Lulu, and we never found her. She wasn't beyond Fleshrum. I think this may be one of the most beautiful conversations in the whole game. I mean, aside from the obvious heavy-handed symbolism, it's also kind of a reminder that whatever's in your past, you do have to focus on the good that is in the present. Something which I think Ellen has kind of lost focus of recently. Now, of course, she's telling us to go to the Henge, but that's not where we're going to end up meeting O'Connell. mean, there's an obvious place to look for him, and there's nobody here. Can't even try out that new memento that I got in the daytime. Of course, maybe he's waiting for us at night, and we can't really do anything at the henge in the daytime. And we know what we need to do, put the silver medallion on the pedestal. So let's go ahead and see if he's out there, see whether anything happens. But of course, I couldn't let a chance go by to talk to all the half-lives, since we had to come out here at night. I don't know if many of them actually say anything that they wouldn't have said if I talked to them earlier in the chapter, but there is one that I didn't get a chance to talk to before. I don't know why, but something seems kind of sad about that. And that's why I said it's kind of sad. I don't know what they're talking about. Yeah, we know about that, and in fact, it's where we're headed. So, back to the henge to meet with O'Connell and find our way into the divine sanctuary in the real world. Except, no, he's not here, and the pedestal isn't even active. So we can't just go in alone. We are actually going to have to go talk to O'Connell and go into the divine sanctuary together. Yeah, he's waiting in the obvious place, but we're gonna have to wait until daytime to go back and talk to him. I guess we spent an entire night just puttering around the village, not getting anything done. We seem to do a lot of that, particularly in the grinding videos, which is how you know that O'Connell has definitely been here longer than a week.
Good night.
I mean, we have. But alright, it's time to meet with O'Connell for real this time. And I know the anticipation is killing us all. What does Ellen have to talk about with him, since she didn't find what she was looking for? Looks like it's just the same conversation again. Sometimes if you let people talk, they'll say something different, but in this case, I don't believe that's going to happen. So alright, we'll open up the dolmen. Although I want to see what happens with this old photo. It could still be the key to Chapter 5, but for now, it's gotta be the medallion. So once again we go into the Divine Sanctuary, where Keats discovered some relics from the Hag. What will Ellen find? Well, nothing interesting apparently. Well, that looks like something shining up in the distance. I'm getting kind of a bad feeling about that. Seems he's already run off ahead, and I think I know exactly where he went. Yeah, but I think maybe we could have been gentler about it. Well, it sounds like everything worked out after all. And with that, the chapter ends. So, of course, for probably the final time, we leave it up to a vote. Will we continue on as Ellen and see what O'Connell wants to do to unlock her lost memories? Or will we go back and see what Keats makes of the evidence that he found under the hinge, of the presence of the hag, and what it could all mean? Cast your votes in the thread, and I'll see you with your decision next time.